Rain had just stopped when Emma rolled her wheelchair to the small, cracked pavement where the old yellow school bus always came. She had grown used to being the first student at the stop. Most mornings were quiet. She loved hearing the birds sing and watching the light creep slowly over the rooftops. Emma was 16, quiet, thoughtful, and carried a small notebook everywhere she went. Her legs hadn't worked since she was 6 after a car accident, but she refused to let that define her. She dreamed of becoming a writer, of building stories where heroines never had to feel small. But reality was different. A group of students from her school, Jake, Connor, and Lily, had made Emma their target. They thought it was funny to mock her, whispering cruel things, sometimes even taking pictures of her chair. Every time Emma saw them coming, she braced herself. This morning, the 3 bullies showed up late. Their laughter cut through the fresh air. Jake nudged Connor, pointing at Emma. "Well, look who's here, Wheels," he sneered. Emma closed her notebook, heart tightening. She tried to focus on the distant sound of the bus. But Jake wasn't done. He stepped in front of her, grinning. "What would happen if you hit a bump? Bet you'd go flying." Before Emma could react, Connor kicked the front wheel of her chair, sending it wobbling. Lily laughed, and then Jake shoved the chair just enough so Emma's hands slipped from the rim. She lurched forward, the chair tipping sideways. Emma cried out as she fell hard onto the pavement. Her notebook flew open, pages soaking with puddle water. The 3 bullies burst into laughter. "Oops, guess she can't even sit properly," Connor mocked. Emma lay there, fighting back tears, staring at the ruined pages of her stories. The bus was still minutes away. The bullies didn't offer help. They simply walked off, still laughing. For the first time in weeks, Emma felt broken. Not because of her chair, but because no one had stepped in. She didn't know that everything was about to change. The engines. Down the street, a low rumble echoed. At first, Emma thought it was thunder. But then it grew louder, dozens of engines humming together, vibrating through the pavement. Around the corner appeared motorcycles, sleek, powerful machines glinting under the morning sun. There weren't just a few. There were almost 100. Leather jackets, chrome handlebars, boots hitting the asphalt one after another. The riders weren't just random bikers, they looked like a brotherhood. Patches on their jackets read, "Iron Guardians MC." The noise made the bullies turn. Their laughter died instantly. The lead rider, a tall man with gray in his beard and eyes as sharp as steel, pulled up right beside Emma. He killed the engine, swung his leg off, and crouched down. "You okay, sweetheart?" he asked, his voice deep but gentle. Emma blinked in shock. I fell." He reached out his calloused hand. "Name's Bear. Let's get you back up." With surprising care, Bear lifted Emma back into her chair. Another biker retrieved her notebook, shaking off the water before handing it to her. Emma clutched it tightly. "Thank you." Bear's eyes shifted toward the bullies, who were frozen in place. "Did you fall? Or did someone make you fall?" Emma hesitated. She didn't want more trouble. But then she saw her ruined pages, the laughter still ringing in her ears. Her voice trembled. They pushed me." The air changed. 99 engines roared back to life, almost in unison. The sound was like thunder rolling across the street. The ground shook. Jake, Connor, and Lily paled. Bear stood tall. "Nobody touches her again, understand?" His voice wasn't loud, but it carried power. The bullies stammered. Jake tried to laugh it off. "We were just joking, man." One of the bikers, a woman with tattoos of roses down her arm, leaned forward. "Does that look like a joke to you?" The 3 bullies had no words. The bus finally arrived, screeching to a stop. Every biker turned toward it, blocking the bullies' path. Bear bent down to Emma again. "How about today, we ride with you? You don't get on that bus alone." Emma's eyes widened. "Ride with you?" "Yeah." Bear smiled. "School's safer when you've got 100 brothers and sisters." The ride. The bus driver's jaw dropped when Emma rolled past the line of motorcycles. Bear gently lifted her onto a sidecar attached to his bike, securing her chair behind it. "Hang tight," he said. Then, with a signal, nearly 100 bikes revved up together. The noise was deafening but exhilarating. Children on the bus plastered their faces to the windows, watching in awe. The convoy of motorcycles moved down Main Street, Emma in the middle of it, her hair blowing in the wind. For the first time in her life, she felt untouchable. People stepped out of shops, pulling out phones to record. Cars slowed down, drivers honking in respect. The Iron Guardians weren't just intimidating, they carried a sense of protection, of justice. Emma smiled so wide her cheeks hurt. At the school gates, the motorcycles lined up like an army. Bear got off, wheeled Emma to the front doors, and bent down. "You're stronger than you think. But when the world gets ugly, you remember, you've got us." Emma whispered, "Why me?" Bear chuckled, "Because you deserved better than what they gave you. Consequences." By the afternoon, everyone at school knew. Videos of the Iron Guardians escorting Emma had gone viral. Jake, Connor, and Lily were called to the principal's office. Parents were summoned. Their smugness had evaporated. The entire school had turned against them. Meanwhile, Emma's teachers checked on her. Classmates who had once ignored her now sat beside her at lunch. For the first time, she wasn't invisible. But what mattered most to Emma wasn't the attention. It was the feeling she had that morning, the wind, the roar, the sense of belonging. That evening, when the last bell rang, she rolled outside to find them waiting again. The Iron Guardians, ready to ride home? Bear asked. Emma's eyes lit up. Always. A new beginning. Weeks passed. The bikers didn't just escort her once, they made it a ritual. Not every day, but often enough that Bullies disappeared. Emma's confidence grew. She started reading her stories aloud in class, something she'd never dared before. One day, Bear visited her home. He handed her a small leather vest, specially made in her size. On the back was stitched, "Iron Guardian, honorary member." Emma gasped. This is for me." Bear smiled warmly. Family looks out for family. Tears filled her eyes. For the first time in years, she felt whole. Not because she was defended, but because she finally believed she wasn't alone. Years later, Emma stood on a stage at her first book launch. The dedication inside read, "For the Iron Guardians, for showing me that strength is louder than cruelty, and kindness is louder than hate." And in the crowd, engines rumbled outside, waiting for her, just as they always had. Because once upon a time, bullies tripped a disabled girl at the bus stop. And then, 99 bikers arrived.